Modern life is relentless, a perpetual rush toward something, often forgotten beneath flashing screens, endless tasks, and hurried breaths. Yet amidst the noise, the ancient teachings of Hermeticism whisper to those willing to hear, remember, the body, mind, and spirit are interconnected keys to the sacred. Hermetic practices for modern living are not retreats from reality, but profound engagements with it, beginning first with the body. For the Hermeticist, the body is sacred ground where the work unfolds. It is not merely biological, but alchemical, every movement a ritual, every breath an invocation. Modern life sees the body as a machine to be optimized, but the Hermetic tradition knows better. The body is a vessel, a temple, a living reflection of cosmic harmony. Mindful eating, conscious breathing, attentive movement, these are not habits, but rites. Rites that consecrate flesh and blood into instruments capable of holding divine currents. When the body is purified, it becomes a bridge between heaven and earth, a conduit through which higher consciousness can flow. The mind, often chaotic, restless, distracted, is next. In Hermetic living, the mind is not simply to be quieted, but purified, sharpened, disciplined. Modern life demands constant stimulation, fragmenting attention. Yet Hermes taught that clarity of mind is a divine state. Silence becomes a weapon, observation, a ritual, discernment, a sacred duty. Each thought is questioned, each belief examined, not with skepticism, but with reverence for truth. Hermetic practices for the mind include journaling, dream analysis, contemplation, active imagination, tools for transforming chaos into clarity, doubt into wisdom, noise into meaningful silence. A silence in which the voice of intuition, the logos, speaks clearly and guides the soul. Spirit completes this triad, yet remains elusive, hidden, veiled. Spirit in Hermeticism is not abstract. It is the life force itself, the divine spark within every being. Spirit is activated through will, intention, and alignment. Modern life often disconnects spirit from daily reality, relegating it to rare moments of meditation or retreat. But Hermes teaches differently. Every moment is spiritual, every act sacred. Spirit is realized not by escaping the world, but by fully inhabiting it. Through acts of conscious intention, clear will, and deep presence, the Hermeticist makes spirit tangible, visible, felt in daily life. Integration is the heart of Hermetic practice. Body, mind, and spirit are not separate realms, but interconnected threads woven into one fabric. Hermetic living seeks harmony between these dimensions, not through denial or escape, but through deliberate practice, rituals, and conscious living. Daily actions become rituals, each gesture mindful, each moment a sacred invocation. Thus, the Hermeticist lives in the modern world, fully engaged, yet inwardly anchored. Chaos surrounds, but harmony reigns. Noise persists, yet silence remains within. Distraction tempts, yet clarity endures. The Hermetic practices for modern living are not merely spiritual, they are deeply practical, guiding us to live as masters of our own reality, as creators, as vessels through which the divine continuously manifests. Remember, the key to living as a Hermeticist today lies not outside, but within. Within the body, the temple, the mind, the altar, and the spirit, the eternal flame. Hermetic teachings emphasize rhythm. Life follows a cyclical flow, mirrored in nature and the cosmos. Modern life disregards rhythms, pushing ceaselessly forward. Yet Hermeticists attune themselves to natural cycles, the rise and fall of energy, the ebb and flow of emotion. Through respecting rhythms, productivity becomes sustainable, rest sacred, activity meaningful. The Hermeticist also honors silence as sacred. Silence creates space for spiritual revelation. Modernity fears silence, filling every void with noise. Yet Hermeticism teaches a silence as the fertile soil from which clarity blooms. Silence transforms the mundane into the profound, connecting humans to deeper layers of existence. The sacred mystery beyond words. Hermetic practice extends beyond individual life into collective reality. Each Hermeticist influences the world through the purity of their being, the coherence of their actions. In a modern society driven by separation and fragmentation, the Hermeticist embodies unity, interconnectedness, and profound spiritual presence, creating ripples of transformation that heal, restore, and awaken collective consciousness. Ultimately, Hermeticism in modern living is a path of profound simplicity. Each day, each moment is an invitation to live in deeper harmony with universal truths, embodying ancient wisdom within modern complexities, turning ordinary life into extraordinary spiritual artistry and eternal practice, becoming divine. In the daily rituals of modern living, the Hermeticist finds opportunities to enact the sacred in the simplest acts. Washing dishes becomes a meditation, walking to work an invocation, cooking a meal an offering to the divine within and without. Each action, performed with intention, elevates the ordinary, transforming it into extraordinary spiritual experience. This mindful living not only enriches the individual, but radiates outward, influencing the environment, the community, and the collective consciousness. As Hermeticists, we learn to see the sacred in all things, recognizing the divine presence woven through each moment of each day. No longer separate from our daily lives, spirituality becomes life itself, a living, breathing reality. Hermeticism becomes a practical path, guiding us in every moment, reminding us that we are the vessels through which the divine manifests. And by consciously aligning with this truth, we transform ourselves and the world around us into a reflection of the cosmic order we seek to embody. Yet the path is not without its trials. Modern life, with its unrelenting pace and endless demands, tests the resolve of the Hermetic practitioner daily. Each challenge, however, is not an obstacle but a hidden gate, a threshold inviting deeper mastery. The Hermeticist learns not to resist life's pressures, but to transmute them, turning frustration into patience, anxiety into mindful alertness, and adversity into wisdom. In this alchemical journey, patience becomes a sacred discipline, as the ancient Emerald Tablet proclaims, "As above, so below, as within, so without." The Hermeticist understands that transformation begins internally and is mirrored externally. Patience with oneself, with others, and with the unfolding of life becomes an active ritual, a slow-burning fire refining the soul. The cultivation of will is another cornerstone of Hermetic living. Modernity often fractures will through distraction and overindulgence, scattering the soul's energy across 1,000 trivial pursuits. But the Hermeticist gathers this dispersed light, focusing it through conscious choice and unwavering intention. Each act of will becomes an affirmation of divine power within, each decision a stone laid carefully upon the path toward mastery. In small daily acts, choosing clarity over confusion, compassion over indifference, presence over distraction, the Hermeticist weaves the fabric of a sacred life, thread by golden thread. Another forgotten power, reawakened through Hermetic practice, is imagination, not as idle fantasy, but as sacred creative faculty. Imagination, when properly purified and directed, becomes the bridge between seen and unseen worlds, the matrix through which higher realities can manifest into the physical realm. The modern Hermeticist cultivates active imagination not to escape reality, but to shape it. Visualizations, creative rituals, and dream incubation become essential practices, not superstitions, but deliberate methods of aligning the inner vision with cosmic intention. Through imagination, the Hermeticist dreams the world awake, participating consciously in the ongoing act of creation. Hermetic living extends beyond solitary practice into the sacred domain of community. Modern isolation, fueled by technologies that promise connection but often deepen separation, is gently dissolved by the Hermeticist's conscious engagement. Each interaction is seen as a mirror, each relationship as a laboratory for the soul's growth. Compassion, authentic listening, conscious speech, these become spiritual exercises, forging bonds that reflect the unity underlying all things. The Hermeticist becomes a node of harmony within the social web, a living testament that unity is not an abstract ideal, but a lived reality. Moreover, Hermetic living invites a profound reunion with nature. Nature, the great revealed book of divine wisdom, offers endless teachings to those who listen. The cycles of the moon, the seasons' rhythm, the dance of ecosystems, all echo Hermetic principles. The modern Hermeticist makes time to walk barefoot on the earth, to meditate with the trees, to move with the tides of natural forces rather than against them. In doing so, they re-establish lost connections, rooting spiritual practice firmly in the living world. Ultimately, Hermetic practices for modern living converge into a single aim: the great work, the inner alchemy by which the human soul is perfected and reunited with the divine source. This great work is not reserved for cloistered monasteries or secret temples. It is lived in kitchens and offices, in quiet moments between tasks, in the very heartbeat of ordinary life. Every email written with care, every meal prepared with gratitude, every conversation infused with presence becomes part of the magnum opus, the slow and radiant unfolding of divine potential. The Hermeticist walks through the modern world as both student and master, vessel and creator, continually aligning body, mind, and spirit with the eternal truths hidden just beneath the surface of all things. Thus, modern living becomes sacred living. The ancient flame of Hermetic wisdom, far from being extinguished by the noise of modernity, burns ever brighter, illuminating the way for all who choose to walk the path of conscious embodiment.